Welcome everyone to the first cast of Dojemon Battle Arena number 1. It's a 3 versus 3 tournament from the FAF Dojo Discord. And my name is StaleDevil. I'm joined today by our lovely trainee ourselves. It's Wilson.
Hello Internet.
We'll be going over some games today, and yeah, we had some team builds done based off the trainers of the FAF Dojo. Very varied in player rating, so they won't be playing themselves. Most of them, at least. You will maybe see Wilson in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. Unfortunately, yesterday I couldn't play. I felt a little bit sick, so we got a stand-in, which we'll be seeing later on. I guess we will start with the other match first.
Yeah, well, we can first talk about the tournament, like what's it about, right? The team compositions. You will know about them, all the players that signed up.
Yeah, first of all, maybe just one sentence about the dojo. So the FAF Dojo is about training Forged Alliance Forever players to become better, and therefore we got a trainer team which consists mainly of official FAF Discord trainers like StaleDevil or Skill Issue or Paradox. The fellow FAF players will know them, and yeah, then we got our Dojemon Arena Battles, which is a competition where we actually let the trainers of specific trainers play against each other. So it's basically not about the competition, it's not about winning anything, it's about actually playing and getting to know each other better, being mixed together for the competition. So there's, yeah, for the most part there will be guys that don't know each other yet, and actually we're mixed for the competition together to play the tournament. Because the whole idea of the Dojemon Arena Battles is like not only playing 3v3, but there will be technically a 2v2 tourney and a 1v1 tourney in the future as well, and therefore we have like 6 players on one team with one specific trainer to them, and yeah, those trainers had to pick in advance which trainees will participate in the 3v3 tourney. And those participants will be blocked from the other competitions, which means like you have to decide which players will do best in a 3v3 scenario, which will do better in a 2v2, or who will actually be able to compete in a 1v1 all by themselves. So this is the basic idea. And we're going to be starting with a 3v3 tourney today.
Yeah, at least the replays of the first 2 sets we'll be taking a look at together, and yeah, I'm excited. We have some nice maps generated and non-generated ones, so a good mix of everything. So we'll be going into the first replay today.
Yeah, will be fun.
The first team is going to be Team Paradox versus Team Yudoka, also known as Skill Issue team. So yeah.
Exactly. So we got on Team Paradox, we got Crumb, the Crimson Knight, and Banana Smoothie. So Crumb is mainly a 1v1 specialist, rating at like, I think, like 1400 in 1v1 and global currently. And so he's gonna be the player to beat, I think, for the other team. And then Banana Smoothie is like a solid 1200, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And Crimson is currently like 1k. So if they end up in a map where they got a holding spot and a carry slot, probably Crimson is the one holding up and getting into the holding slot, and Crumb into the crusher spot. And yeah, we will see how they will hold up. And then on the other team, on Team Yudoka, usually we would see like Bodo Figwit, Umbrasolis, and Ocelot, but Bodo unfortunately couldn't make it as well for the first game. So we got a stand-in, which was Little Tank. So Bodo, who is a 1500 global, will be replaced by a 1200 in this competition or in this BO3, and will be accompanied by Umbrasolis, who is a 1100, and by Ocelot, who is a 1100 as well. So technically the best player on Team Yudoka was missing for this BO3, and we will actually see how this will turn out for them.
But yeah, we saw earlier, we have a nice pile of reclaim here, 20k about, roughly. And lots of tree clumps and ice rocks, as we usually are used to when playing ice maps. So, what can you say a little bit about the map for this one? It's a generated map. It's not a 20 by 20 as it says, but it's like a 12 by 12, more likely.
Yeah, we had some changes done to the map pool pretty late. So this is one of the latest additions. Actually, it was added one day before these teams were playing the map, so they didn't have a lot of time to prepare. And Elliot, the TO, and I picked the map because of the idea that one player is starting out on the island, and there might not be that much space for creating an air grid if necessary. So. And possibly, I think, if we talk about the left-hand side, the team will probably distribute their comms, 2 of them to the top side and 1 to the bottom. So Crom is kind of more or less in the holding spot on this, and might be facing 2 ACUs and 2 teammates coming his way, or 2 opponents, furthermore.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there might be a rotation going on, and we will see if one side is going to collapse in the end. And yeah, there is a plateau in the middle as well, where we might see players going for, because technically you can revolve around the whole plateau on a 30-60 angle, and it might make for a good opportunity to maybe build a T2RD or whatever to engage with, for example, Banana Smoothie's base on the left side.
We already got a gun upgrade here started by Banana Smoothie. And Crimson starting their T2 air. We saw that first air opening from Crimson. A bit unusual. Normally you'd start with a first land and then a second air, but he went for 2 air factories immediately. What do you think is this the right call in this position?
I mean, depends how he's going to play it out. Usually you would go for a land factory because it's cheaper to build than the air factory, but we will see. And the other question will be if he's actually going to play only air, or if he will be playing land as well, so to contest the top side kinda. So Banana Smoothie has just to focus on the right hand side on the opponent.
All right, Crumb also having their gun ready to deal with the double calm aggression. And on the top side, we will have Crimson slowly walking in towards the top side. A little bit late, right? Normally you would have 2 comms already moving in, just like on the bottom side with the little tank and
exactly.
And Umbra. Still a lot of maxes untaken, mostly in the center as well. Nice little raid here by the little tank, taking out some free maxes.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting. I mean, Little Tank is a 1v1 player as well, and he isn't as high ranked as Crumb, so he's playing a lot of maps where he's supposed to spam T1 tanks, and that's what he does best, and therefore we see him raiding while Trum is already taking up, I think. And yeah, we will see how this will play out.
Yeah, Crumb is already on T2 land as well. Can go over a little bit of vision. Do we have any radar? We do not from Chrome. So he's basically fighting into the darkness. Let's see what's the radar coverage here. Both of the Banana Smoothie and Chrome really don't have any radar coverage, it seems. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best call to have no radar at all. But like Crum went for gun and went for T2 at the same time, kinda, so therefore he had to save up a bit on E. Oh, first one.
Ocelot getting beaten down and run down by Banana Smoothie here with that gun com. Still pretty healthy, 6,000 HP and rising.
Actually a bit surprising because Crimson didn't actually follow her into the base and there was no 2v1 happening, and still Ocelot didn't manage to hold.
Unfortunately that the little tank also suicided his comp forward and not moving his tanks with him, because these just got donated to Umbra, and now Umbra is in a very peculiar slot. It has done that T3 HQ, very nice, but doesn't really have any presence right now on land and has to continue containing the whole map on his own lonesome, which is kind of huge on this type of lower ranking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this rating, managing multiple bases and actually having the APM to properly manage them is a huge task.
All right, starting T2 upgrade here for Banana Smoothie. Maybe trying to repair.
I wonder why. I mean, Ocelot died. Technically, they should keep pushing and should kill Ocelot's base, I think.
He's unassisting it, so it's gonna take a minute before it's gonna be done. Maybe in the meantime, he will be ecoing up, and look at that. The map control is going quite smoothly here. Right now, Umbra is in quite a pickle. Does have air forces ready to be used, but does have T3 air, spy planes, got some nice Corsair bomber groups. But with no map presence, it's just a matter of time, honestly.
Yeah, indeed.
So we got T2 and gun on Banana, going for a tactical missile as well. And
wow.
Umbra going back into the water.
I mean, again, it feels a bit like wasting time instead of just crushing the base.
Torp bombers coming out, trying to kill Crumb, but Crumb wisely moving under shield here. There's a Corsair spam here, but doesn't go for the comm. Goes for something else. Goes for the eco.
No.
Goes for the mexes. In the meantime, that's it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Recalling from the first game here, going into favor of Team 1 here. That will be the team of Paradox. Taking
that was a quick
first
one.
Game. Yeah, that was indeed not something that I was expecting. What do you think they could have gone better? Because Team Yudoka did expand earlier way faster, right? You saw it on the map. They expanded with 2 comms way faster than Crimson did on the top side, right? It was very late. Of course, Banana Smoothie did get the rundown on Ocelot, and Crumb, of course, did get the early tech up.
Yeah, but I think if they properly went for the early upgrade on one of their SCUs to match Crumb's gun and actually then would have walked into him with 2 comms, this would have been another game.
Right.
So I guess they missed out a bit on pushing early pressure and pushing early aggression on them. And I don't know if it was actually the best call to put Ocelot in the holding spot on the top side. Maybe they should have gone with the same layout like the other team did, where they put their best player on the
island.
Not on the island, but on the spot where he was facing 2 commanders. You know? So technically, maybe Bodo should have had the top spot for them, the upper spot.
Well, Bodo wasn't there, of course. So.
Oh, Bodo wasn't there. Sorry. So maybe Little Tank because he can hold better than Ocelot, I think.
Okay.
My bad.
No worries, no worries. All right. Well, that was an exciting first game. Pretty quick rush with gun comms. Do you think it was the right decision for many players to rush that gun early on this map as well?
I mean, it worked for them, so they made the right call. If you make gun, you want to use your gun, and they put aggression on their opponent, and I mean, Ocelot collapsed, and therefore, I mean, it was the right call actually for Banana Smoothie. And I think taking up early and somehow surviving the T1 stage against the spamming tank and having gun themselves was the right call for Crumb as well. So I think it was a good game from their side.
Yeah, Crumb barely survived the assault. Like finishes up his gun. Didn't have that many units protecting him, so was actually a pretty good timing.
Yeah, that's the issue. If they don't put early gun on their commanders and push him, then he will be able to push them back if he goes for gun and T2, so kinda at the same time, but with the sacrifice of not having that many T1 tanks himself.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. first game going in favor of Team Paradox, and let's see what they cooked up in our next game. We're going over to the next replay. Let me find the file. Boom. All right. Always takes a little bit of time to capture everything. There we go. Should be going good and golden. Again, we have a little bit of a name swap, it seems.
Are you sure it is the right replay? Because I don't think this map was in the pool, to be honest.
Well, it is on the Notion page as marked as a replay ID, so this is the replay file that
had actually been me putting them there, so maybe I put the wrong one in there.
So it's not these are not the right people?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Because the map is definitely wrong, so we got our first mistake.
No, I went for the replay file, so we'll wait for a little bit of technical fix.
Oh.
Let me quickly look up in the FAF client myself. Look at the players.
I know the other map they played was Loki.
Ah, okay. But this time Bodo did play on the second game, or for their team, or did...
No, I don't think so.
And then still Ocelot.
Not sure.
Let's see.
No, it was Umbra. Yeah, I got it. So maybe.
Oh, I already have it. Yeah, it's
Alright.
I think, right? No, this one is the other one. Because it says FAF Dojo Pokemon. The other one is Lush.
No, Lush was against my team, I think.
Yeah.
So it should be like the Dojo heading, and it should be 9-11 in the end, the replay ID.
Let's see. No, that's not it. That's not it either. Ah. Yeah, got it. Yep. Cool. It is a Loki map. Lasted for about 18 minutes. Okay. Should be the right one. Cool.
I think so.
Let's go watch it. Was a Q game after 2 losses. Ah, fair enough. All right, in we go. Nothing like a little fail to start off the stream. And we move these for now. Going for full on land on the right side. Now we have played Loki many times before in other tournaments. It's a very standard map where you want to contest the corner quad maxes, right? And you want to contest the center because of the high reclaim values, of course, and in the valleys, most likely.
Exactly. So as the bottom team, you want to deny the bottom right corner, because you don't have to move through the pond, so it should be easier to hold for your side. And the top team should playing for the top left corner, especially. And all comms should go technically towards mid on this map.
All right.
What actually surprises me a bit that they put Umbra on the top slot in the bottom corner, because he's usually playing Cybran and therefore he cannot traverse the water towards the top left side. So they might go for a defensive approach when it comes to the corner, and actually maybe they won't contest it in the beginning. Meanwhile, Banana is playing Sera. And she should be able to traverse without no problem, and we will see if Ocelot will be able to contest the bottom right corner and deny it.
Oh, we see a lot of difference here in reclaim tactics already. You see here a lot of clickety-click reclaiming stuff here. The other side, only just to get through the forest. And an attack move. Let's see, they are sharing the first couple of max expansions here. Seems that the bottom one will go to Ocelot mostly, and the forward ones in the middle will be targeted for the little tank for their expansion. And they'll be leaving Umbra for all the top side. We got a PD queued as well. Let's reclaim already. We do have Crumb moving out already. Out of all the other commanders.
Yeah, but exactly. The problem is that they move towards the corners, and I guess, like, I played this map the last 3v3 tourney with Umbra Solis and Bodo, so they kind of know the beta to go towards mid with all commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So this might end in a bad way for Crumb if he doesn't take care, and if he doesn't go for radar, if he's playing the no radar challenge again, then he might collapse pretty soon.
Yeah, fighting two comms and units at the same time, not a fun moment to handle on your own.
Not at all.
He's using the calm as an engineer, it seems, or maybe tries to protect this, but he already has a tank up here, so maybe, yeah, you should have put the calm in towards the middle. Does have units. Did kill the engineer, it seems. That was queued to handle the PD there. And it seems that none of them went actually for a transport rush to maybe deny or delay the expansion from the other side.
Yeah, technically you don't want to go for a transport rush, because you need some units here as well. And technically, Umbra shouldn't be able to deny the corner for that long, especially since his tanks just went through mid to reach the top left corner.
Right. Alright, so it's going to be Crumb versus 3 commanders on his lonesome in the middle. We saw Ocelot actually moving out of his base a bit later than the usual, but he is out of his base. And there we go. We do get a transport here to actually drop there.
Shouldn't have worked at all. By now, Crimson should have had some tanks up there. So.
Uh-oh, Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any radar coverage, so now we see his 2 commanders. And they don't walk him down. Umbra chilling.
Yeah, they're a bit hesitant themselves. They don't have radar coverage as well. So now Umbra's scout is coming in, so they got a little bit of vision and will eventually, hopefully, notice that there's only one common mid. And then I hope they will go for it.
It seems that Little Tank is moving south, while the other 2 commanders will be pushing forward. The transport didn't work out. The tanks of Crimson did take out the engineer that was dropping there. So I'm going for a gun here on the Little Tank. Very nice. Will be our first upgrade. Meanwhile,
and looks like Umbra is going for assisting, which is nice as well. This is the way it was supposed to be. I mean, technically, of course, the top team holds now both sides and gets the grip on it, but I mean, if Crumb is completely out of position and if they just use... If he doesn't block mid and they can go through past there towards the bases, this... I mean, both comms are completely out of position for Banana Smoothie and Crimson now, and we will see how this will turn out, because I think it is not the best situation to be in for them.
Banana Smoothie did get that expansion, of course, on the bottom. Does have a PD to fall back to, but with that gun come rushing into you... Does have another PD, but it's gonna get exploded pretty soon. Actually, it does hold. Now Umbra going for gun themselves as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tank is standing in PD range, and that's not the point where he should be with this gun com.
Meanwhile, we got Banana Smoothie going for gun as well. Got a big stream of army on the top left from Crimson. Maybe should have put some tanks in the middle to assist Crumb.
Exactly. So this is the blunder I see. If you look up, there's Crimson sending all his units still to the top side, kinda, instead of just sending reinforcements towards mid. Although they already know that there's at least one Guncom he's facing.
Yeah. Ooh, canceled this Guncom. Knows he cannot hold this. And meanwhile, Ocelot going for gun speed as well. This is looking pretty bad here. They're going to run him down with 2 Guncoms on him.
Most likely, yeah.
Meanwhile, Crimson is trying to establish something. He is flowing mass, so he's not. He has enough mass to help a teammate out. Meanwhile, Banana Smoothie not looking good here. Minus 88 mass per tick. Does get surrounded by some blazes here. Look at this, getting pushed in all the way back to his base. Now we see the back line. We see Crimson moving to come towards their core base of Umbra. Oh, found a PD. Goes into the water for now. No, goes back out, takes it out. Meanwhile, we get some nice action here. We got a double gun come, and we've got, of course, Ocelot with the gun speed. They will be running over their bases if they play to the range, of course, right, Wilson?
Yeah, of course. And I think Banana Smoothie is currently putting up a T2 PD as well in the base, kinda. But the problem is it might shoot the cliff, actually. I'm not sure. No, might work. Okay.
You know, it actually hits. But it's out of range right now. Meanwhile, more PDs in the base. Little tank going below 3,000. Umbra hugging quite close to it. They're blocking him from leaving. And you cannot walk into this water from here. Little tank getting an important veterancy upgrade. Ocelot also in the base.
But I think they're overstaying their welcome a bit there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's not good. And the Ilshova will be taking out the little tank here. Going way too deep here. Behind enemy lines. And now Umbra behind enemy lines as well in the front base. Getting bombarded. Getting hit by all the tanks that are coming out of the factory. And Ocelot also taking a shitload of damage right now. Also going into the red.
Okay, this game is lost for them.
And meanwhile, Banana Smoothie and Crimson just chilling on the sidelines. And look at that. Crumb getting another free kill here. And the only one that is left
I think
is...
they felt a bit in the need to make this push happen because they lost both corners and therefore they might have been out-egoed eventually.
I mean, they had triple gun come, right? They didn't.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't really utilize the range as much as they maybe should have.
No, they could have. I mean, they went for I mean, what base were they actually going for? If they just went straight for Banana's base, it might have collapsed. And I don't think going for Crumb was the right call to make there.
And actually,
because Crumb technically has nothing if he's just sitting in his base, and if they raid the Nexus.
Yeah, that's true. And it actually went full through, going into Crimson's base, actually. And actually ignoring Crumb most of the time, because Crumb was just chilling here, next to the PDs that were being built.
You know, this felt like a bit of panicking, because they were standing in PD. And felt like they need to push through. And, I mean, Ocelot sending the comm in as well was a blunder, I think, because they were already PDs up, T2 PDs as well, and he had to pass the T2 PDs, and I don't think that was the right call.
And now Umbra again on their lonesome, trying to fix this game. They know they are one game behind and it's do or die right now. Crumb gets his gun done and immediately moving towards stealth because right now he can just chill in eco, right? There's no real pressure.
Yeah, I can absolutely relate. The last free tourney we played, I played with Bodo and Ambra Solis, and I kind of ended up in the same situation, on the exact same map, but way earlier.
You see, do Umbra have some small T1 units? We do have a T2 HQ here and here. How are we doing on eco? Does Spanish eco, so that's good to see. But it is, of course, going to be a matter of time before you're getting out ecoed by the corner players, which did get, of course, the quad maxes will accept. Crimson, they forgot to build one, or maybe the engineer got destroyed, but
yeah, I mean, Umbra is missing like the 6 or 7 maxes on the sideline, so
yeah,
see.
Going for a recall, and yeah, that is GG for team of Yudoka. Doesn't look good for the Yudoka training arc. It seems they need to get back into shape. What do you think, Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about making the right calls. Like, on this map, they went for the early gun and were a bit overconfident. And the last game we saw, they didn't go for the early gun and were a bit hesitant. So it was a bit of an overcompensation, it feels like.
They also didn't really contest the corners, right? They basically got it for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to contest the corners if the opponent sends the comp, so
yeah,
that's not a blunder. But eventually, they should have made more out of having control over mid.
right.
And actually tried to use the mid control to raid the maxes and not go for the base.
Still,
and then eventually, if they have free gun comps, you know, they can push towards one side, like, and push one comp back and gain control over the side or whatever.
yeah, there was still a lot of reclaim to grab as well during the entire game. Still, all these big rocks as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Crimson didn't reclaim properly, I think. Crum was a bit busy with the comps in mid, and yeah. I mean, Amrazol is on playing 3 bases, managing the reclaim, having his com in the other base. No reclaim happening there, no APM.
Yeah, but they did took with 3 comms the middle, right? And at least they should have put more factories down and start reclaiming the whole stuff. But we see the actual opposite, where, you know, the corner of the map gets control and now reclaimed by the other side. Although Banana didn't also properly reclaim their side.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we don't know how much experience those guys have with playing in a tournament environment, and so there might be some nervousness involved and whatever.
Yeah, and Loki is also not one of the easiest map to pull off on a team event.
Exactly. So. Usually it's a 1v1 map, and therefore there's not that much distance between the bases, and therefore it's technically like. Usually, if you play it properly and go for early gun comps, it's like who finishes the gun comp first and who uses it in a better way. And this usually decides the game, but like we just learned, it might not be the end for the other team.
Yeah. So 2-0 here for Team Paradox. Finishing up the first set, I think Paradox will be pretty happy with their students they have been pulling off. And they will be able to get a break for this week, or they'll be, you know, training some more. I haven't seen a lot of players actually, you know, gathering up to train. I did see a couple of grouped ups training arcs of Team Yudoka, of course. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, they are harder to spot for us when they are training with Paradox compared to Yudoka. Like, we're based in U both, so. Like Yudoka is like my team is, and Paradox team. Paradox is based in Canada, and therefore they just have different hours they play.
All right. Well, let's go over to the next game then. It's going to be... Next set is going to be, looks like, Team Herrscher versus Team Yudoka again. So Team Yudoka will be playing maybe the same roster. Maybe Bodo did get into this one.
Bodo played this one.
Awesome.
But like I said, unfortunately, I personally couldn't make it, and therefore Mamba will fill in. But yeah, we will see how this will turn out. Technically, I'm like a 1300, and Mamba is 900, so...
Yeah, it's a 400 deficit, but, you know, you never know what might happen, right?
No, it depends on the map. I mean, Mamba is spamming a lot of T1, which usually I don't do, but I mean, like I said, depends on the map and how they play it out. Might be a bit of a weakening, might not. We will see.
Cool. Let's see. Trying to launch the replay if he wants me to. There we go. Cool. Into the first game for this set here between Team Herrscher versus Team Yudoka. Team Yudoka will be on the bottom right here, as Team 2, and on the top left we'll have T1. In the corner we got Lupakal, also known as Elliot, starting first land. Kageyama will be in the kind of pushing slot in this case, because Elliot should be helping Kageyama here to establish control.
Yep, exactly.
And we've got the holding slot for Mamba. And there's a lot of reclaim on this map.
Yeah, I think it's 18k.
Yeah, it is.
We looked it up earlier.
So again, a lot of trees, a lot of max points to contest. Especially the quad max points on the bottom and the top, right? It's very strong to contest those. Because in the middle there are of course a plateau, but not as many maxes there is on the bottom sides. There are of course like clumps here, like 4 here, but these are like a bit isolated, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's not about the maxes in mid, but it's actually about controlling the plateau to have a safe space to put a radar, to establish a no-fly zone, stuff like this, and maybe even pushing towards the other side of the plateau. Like I said before the other game, to put like a T2 artillery to contest Bodo's base. And actually it's interesting to see, even with Bodo being on the roster now, they decide to put Ocelot in the holding spot and to put Bodo and Umbra in the slots where they actually work together and try to crush the other player on the other side in the holding slot. Interesting.
An early raid party here for Bodo.
And on my team, I'm actually not sure if I agree on putting Elliot on the island. Maybe I would have put Kageyama there, because I think Elliot is the stronger land player, and if he goes for air, they lose a lot of...
Fair.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe he will go for more land push than Crimson did in the first game.
Umbra out of mass already. He's stalling a little bit, but he did start on the island, of course. Did reclaim everything on the island. There's not much to reclaim there to begin with, so has to expand early out to, grab the rest of the map's reclaim.
Yeah, maybe he should have sent one NG at least out a bit earlier, because maybe he just miscalculated the mass distribution on the island. But, I mean, he shouldn't technically, because he played this slot before already.
We got both comms on each side of the planes moving in towards the middle, and we've got Elliot touching down here with some air transport and jumping towards the enemy's triple max location right there.
I mean, it's a good call. Unfortunately, if Ocelot plays it right, he's gone for first bomber, but it might be intercepted, and I don't even know why Ocelot goes for a first bomber when he's a land player. He should have gone for second land.
No, both the scout and the bomber gets eliminated, and that means Elliot can set up shop right here with some factories. Very nice.
That might be huge, yeah.
Let's see if this will affect. Look at this. Elliot is, of course, a bit lower on mass per tick right now. He has queued up some upgrades, pausing the upgrades as they go by. Has these factories up and running already. Alright.
In general, it feels a bit lighter on T1 than the other game we saw so far.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a bit more of a attacking approach for both teams.
Right.
I think this is not an advantage of little tank of Mamba for our team in yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Because technically, I think Bodo and Umbra are better in attacking and ecoing than he is.
We got the longer the Ocelot ways, the more factories Elliot can get back online. We'll start their push here. Let's see if they can retake this position. Kageyama also amassing some units.
Yeah, Kageyama should already be sending his units. Now he's pulling them back, and instead he should help Elliot here to defend the T1 troops.
Bodo will be getting pushed out a little bit here.
Yeah, nice job so far from Mamba, I think, in holding them back so far.
It seems like we have a wraparound here. Kageyama moving here towards the left, but doesn't continue pushing here, and this could be very dangerous here for Elliot. Uh-oh. Running into all these tanks and artillery.
Yeah, like I said, if Kageyama had assisted with his force earlier and taken out the tanks, this wouldn't be the issue right now. I mean, now the Ocelot has his tanks behind his commander, and therefore they can't engage him with their T1 tanks.
Okay, Kageyama very far in the back. Did have a gun upgrade. Maybe should have had his comm forward like Bodo and Umbra have here.
Yeah, maybe he was going for stealth as well, I couldn't see.
No, he's moving right now, so.
Okay.
See, he did cancel stealth.
But
yeah.
I see. Okay. At least he didn't commit to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
that's...
I like actually where Elliot is going, so he can fall back into the water if needed. He's half HP, so if Kageyama pushed in earlier, they would have done way more damage, I think, so far.
Mm-hmm. It seems Bodo will be going for a gun upgrade as well as a gun for Elliot here in the water. Kageyama will be moving towards Elliot to try and fish him out of the water. Meantime, Mamba still on a naked comm here. Does he have the intel though? He does know they're there. A nice side push here from Elliot. Kageyama.
Yeah, I mean they should just wait for Kageyama's gun. They shouldn't waste their tanks. That's bullshit.
And meanwhile, we get a push here from Umbra and Bodo. Umbra doesn't have an upgrade. Only Bodo has right now.
Yeah, I mean technically that would be fine, but I mean what I see is that Mamba has a lot more units than they have combined. So.
Yeah, but they do have Tech 2, it seems. Mamba also now on Tech 2 as well. Very good.
Elliot is taking out the factories. Kageyama is holding. I mean, he could be pushing a bit more, to be honest.
He's taking out the PD very nicely.
And Elliot could advance already with a gun comb and could have let the tanks do the job.
It's a little bit of a high five moment on the bottom side. We're like, hey, that's a nice big army you got there.
Yeah. Feels a bit like Ocelot is about to collapse. Elliot had a bit of an AFK moment, maybe managing his base. Now the com is moving again. Same kinda on the bottom side.
Okay,
now we remember that we have comms and units and can actually use them.
Going for the backside here, possibly trying to snipe some power.
Yeah, I mean, they got two armies there, so Ocelot can't push them, and they might go for the sneaky approach, and it might work.
Mamba also getting pushed here.
See, Umbra is already afraid of Ocelot collapsing and is sending T1 bombers to deal with the T1 tanks.
Oh, the PDs are getting taken out. Mamba's letting his units get picked off one by one. This is not good. Meanwhile, Elliot going ballsy here, like, I'm just taking out your maxes, your T2 maxes.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking out the eco, which is perfect, and he still can go back to the water if needed, so...
Ooh, Kageyama very low here, in the red. Meanwhile, okay, Mamba is going for an upgrade. Didn't have any upgrades before, but all their units are getting picked off for free.
Yeah, technically it's not that much of a blunder. He somehow has to sustain the upgrade.
Oh, but now he leaves his comm out in the open. Could be dangerous. Meanwhile, Elliot moving into the water, but some torp bombs are coming their way to see if they can shoo him out of the water. And there's also a lurking Corsair above Elliot's head as well. In enemy airspace, Kageyama will go for that stealth upgrade that they cancelled earlier. Bodo, bit low here, but Mamba did manage to get their guns for themselves, of course.
Mamba is doing great so far in holding them back.
Nano repair here for Kageyama starting. And Elliot taking a little bit of damage off that torp bomber, but not enough to persuade him to get out of the water.
Yeah, he's staying close to the shore, so he can always get out of the water if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they're fighting air on the top side, and looks like the left team is gonna win air.
Mm-hmm.
At least for now.
Looks like maybe Bodo considering going for a push here, straight through the middle maybe. Would actually be a good idea because there's no defenses at all here. You can just take...
He could easily raid Kageyama's base, yeah, definitely. Or raid Max's.
Very nice, splitting up the army, putting it a little bit up there. But meanwhile, Umbra is also amassing some units on the bottom as well. Elliot back out of the water. We've got Kageyama back healthy again with that nano repair.
Yeah, we can clearly see the 2v1 pressure on the top side against Ocelot. So far he's holding much better than in the first game. And I'm not exactly sure what the plan is on the bottom side, because technically with all the army they got there, like Bodo and Umbra, at least some of them could go raiding without any problem.
I mean, they have already a lot of tanks here. Yep. 80 tanks. So that is a huge amount of army. And here there's already 23 Ilshivas as well. We do get to see that battle here, but right now it's not looking good for Mamba here. Might want to use your calm and do a little bit of overcharging to deal with the army itself.
Question is, did he actually go for an E-storage?
He did.
Okay. And he's good on E, so yeah, he might try this.
Umbra is moving in with an attack command even. Or though it looked like it. You should have more than enough to raid this whole base, even though it's T1 spam. With the T2 army of Bodo themselves as well, you should be able to crush the entire side. And now, Mamba sending his whole army bottom, but leaving his commander vulnerable.
Yeah, it feels like a bit he missed out on getting a little fire base going on at least on the mid side.
And Bodo sees this. It's time to push. You deal with the army on the bottom, that's fine. I'm gonna push you straight through the middle.
Yeah, since Umbra is playing air and land, I mean, he's just spamming T1 units, and he could have dealt with those T1 units by building some TPD on the bottom, kind of towards the pond, and could have sent his army to defend the top side where Bodo is approaching him now. So I feel like he missed out a bit on fortifying against those two armies.
Yeah, did have the eco for T2, yeah, 52 mass per tick.
Yeah.
Look at that. Does actually have T3, it seems. Or maybe there was donor. No, it is. He is T3. Maybe a bit too early because normally you don't have really the eco to go. Oh my goodness. What the hell happened here? Defeated by Mamba.
Yep.
What happened? Did he got...
I mean, the lawyers do some damage, but the problem is now most of their army survived because the Ilchis will survive this, and now he's a bit in a rough spot.
Elliot's...
Well, Ocelot collapsing as well.
Yeah, but Elliot's is all the way in the back. Doesn't believe in it. Meanwhile, Kageyama's getting pushed back with his nano repair. Which is kind of funny because most of it is engineers. Only a couple of T2 rhinos, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, Kageyama is my trainee, and I know that he's a little bit indecisive on when to push and when not to push. And sometimes he's just missing the right moment.
There you go. Notices it. Only engineers. It's time to crush.
Yeah, but you should be noticing the Percy drops Elliot is doing right now, because he's taking out Ocelot's EQ again.
Yep.
And there was another drop going towards the right-hand side. Or he's going for Umbra's base even. Oh, that's bold. Okay.
No, he changed direction.
And he should be spotted by those scouts, I think that is it.
That's an NT. That's an NT.
NTs, whatever. They give intel as well.
It's a T1 transport actually. So, but I think Umbra just used all of their NTs. Now they notice it too late, and the Percy is in here.
And Umbra ends up on his own again, all by himself.
And even the push here didn't work out here in Umbra's favor, with all that army from Bodo left behind and his own army. And now free reign again. Going for the Percy drop, this time into here. Goes for a scout. Does have T3 air here for Umbra. Umbra does have nano repair done. Disabled a lot of build power. What was he building? Oh, he's going for his P-Gen. That's why. And the Percy is dropped here in the base. Does Umbra notice this? His target priority, it seems to be Max's. Knows something going on, but does have a gunship out. You might want to use the gunship to take out the Percy if you want. But meanwhile, the Percy is going to town, taking out all the eco in the main base of Umbra, and Umbra is not noticing it. Now he notices it, throws out some T1 bombers. It's not enough. It's only going to tickle it.
Yeah, again, this is the problem with the APM and playing multiple bases.
Look at that. Dipping down very low again. 127 right now for Umbra. Still, you know, above 3 digits, but shouldn't be for very long because Mamba is looking to push aggressively. And also Umbra's Calm is sitting out in the open here. It's not a place you want to picnic. And a recall has been made here.
All right. Interesting.
What
would you say? Who was the player of the match for you on this map?
I'd say definitely Elliot with the small movements on the back line and the little bit of raids, right, to create openings. Mamba also very nice to hold, right, 2 versus 1 calm. I still don't know how he killed Bodo. I like a couple of loyalists, right, with all that T2 army that Bodo had. I thought, like, you know, Elshivas are like the T 2.5 tech, right? It's like, it's great for T2. It's meh for against T3, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be honest, I kind of want to give it to Mamba for actually holding and even killing the 1500 Bodo as being 900 himself and holding against the 1500 and 1100.
Yeah, it's actually impressive. They had a huge army. And Mamba wasn't actually on the eco to be going for T3 anyway. It was on 52 mass per tick.
Exactly. So if Bodo actually had used his units, or Umbra sent in the T1 forces towards raiding the maxes north of Mamba's base, kinda, he wouldn't have had the eco to go for those lawyers.
Right.
So a bit too passive from the right team.
Yeah.
I feel
so
like.
I think it definitely Bodo could have sent like a small T2 army and raid all these maxes for free, because there's no PD here. There was nothing. There weren't even units, because Mamba was just keeping his units here because of the threat of Umbra.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah, it wasn't allowed to be, and yeah, nice sneaky trades here from Elliot, of course, taking the early quad max here, or triple max, should I say, very important to boost up his positioning, right? Even went for a T3 FAC all in the front line. Normally you don't want to put it there, but Elliot was super comfortable in putting it there.
Yeah, I mean, there was no pressure from Ocelot against 2 players, so there was no chance for him to actually pushing him back from there once he gained control over this area.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, from a neutral caster perspective, interesting game. From me being on one of this team, and actually the one that's won, yay, my team won.
Totally, you know, the commentary is not by any means one-sided. Don't worry about it.
No, Devil will be always rooting for the other team, I know.
Yeah. Kill them! So Team Hersher going up 1-0 here for the first game. Look at the Ravager. The Ravager, zoom out from time to time. Strategy important here, not only the battles. True. Normally I'm not used to casting these games, you know, Ocelot, so it is a learning curve for me as well. So yeah. Going into game 2 here. Grabbing the replay. It's going to be very interesting to see how the second game will go after this first game, because I assume they played all 3 matches one after another, so.
Yeah, they did. Second game should be Loki again, by the way.
It is.
Right. So this time we grabbed the right replay. I like.
If I recall correctly, there were 4 maps, right?
Yeah, there were 4 maps actually, and like the first team to be on voice entirely had the pick for the first one.
Interesting.
And then after that, it's loser's choice.
Okay. So you didn't. We didn't go for the five map ban phases and that
No,
kind
we
of stuff.
didn't. We didn't.
Cool. So the players could choose a bonus map from the pool, which is
Yes. So I don't know who decided about the first map, but this map was decided to be played by the Ocelot, Umbra, and Bodo team on the left side.
all right. Looking that already aggressive. Moving out is calm here by Umbra. Placed one factory and was like moving his calm out, and now he's correcting himself. He's like, "Oops, I wasn't meant to do this. Nobody saw this."
Damn, I got Maxes. Forgot about this.
And now he's like, "Well, I moved out too far. I've already got engineers in the base. Let them do it. I'll just move out for more earlier towards the mid. You know, being ahead of the curve. Don't worry about it."
Happens to everyone at one point. So now actually it's interesting to see how they approach this, because there's like two ways to play it. Like our team, we discussed this map like once, and the call actually was that the turquoise player would be the one going for the left corner, and that Elliot would be the one in green would be the one sending his units towards mid and going for the mid maxes. So let's see if they actually do this, or if they decide to play it in another way.
Well, it seems that the team of Yudoka has already decided all three come straight through the middle.
Yeah, and we should be seeing the same from my team, because we discussed this and we didn't sandbox what we did, kind of a training game on this map in a completely different constellation. Because when we did this, Kageyama wasn't on the team and I was part of the training, so this is like, Elliot is the only one knowing about the training, but he seems to remember that the call to make is to send all comms to mid. That's good, actually.
All right. Getting a nice scout information in here from Elliot.
What I dislike, by the way, is that Kageyama isn't already sending a tank towards the top left corner to deny this from being taken by a simple engineer.
No, you're right. He hasn't built any tanks to...
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about sending them where you pointed, but really to the top left corner, to the quad max. No, not even that one. To the complete far left.
Oh, this one, yeah.
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 If he sends one tank and one scout, he can deny a single engie from building there.
All right, we got a full 3 versus 3 calm action right in the middle here. Starting off with Kageyama and Bodo. What is happening? All of them handshaking each other.
Okay, so no gun com action so far, but pure com action straight away.
Kageyama pulling back, actually. Trying to do something. Should help soaking up the damage, because now it's 3 versus 2. And there we go. Goes back into it, but we got Ocelot low on HP. We got Bodo on 7,000. Umbra still looking decently healthy here. Elliot dropping towards 5k. Mamba also dipping below 5k here. 4k.
Uh-oh.
And now Elliot taking all the fire to himself. He's like, don't worry, brother. I got your back. Oh, some ghetto gunships here from Elliot. Going to town.
Didn't expect that to happen.
And they still keep it running, and there's an explosion right here. It's a Control K by purpose. No, it was Bodo taking Elliot out. Meanwhile, Mamba running away as much as possible. Meanwhile, Ocelot pulled out in time, did not get affected by the explosion.
But Kageyama should be pulling back. Right now he's running into the other comms.
Yeah, but he's trying to kill Bodo, but he's not gonna fetch him, and both comms are super low on HP. And now Kageyama also out of position and will be taken out by Umbra. Uh-oh. And there goes Kageyama.
That was a misplay by Kageyama. Absolutely.
Boom. And now it's only Mamba left.
By the way, Ocelot didn't send a single tank towards the bottom right corner as well, and Mamba got the expansion by just sending engineers to the bottom right.
Yeah, but Bodo hasn't taken the quad maxes as well. It's now working towards clearing out some of the older stuff from Kageyama. This is looking very rough here. Now these comms are going to be repaired up pretty soon. All of them are pretty low, of course, but by the time you get units out, you might already be quite repaired up and ready to fight again, maybe with some upgrades as well.
Yeah, question is Mamba actually spending his mass right now? He's got on 3 bases.
No, he's trying, but it's not working.
Nope.
You might want to put a couple of engineers on your commander as well to at least do some upgrading and start working towards pushing stuff again.
Yeah, or sending it into the water to actually have it in a safe place if they might go for ghetto gunships or whatever, or 42 air snipes. I mean, they're in a safe spot right now, it's the bottom team. But technically, Mamba should have more eco right now, still.
Yeah, the map is still pretty open. It is, of course, a small advantage for Team 2 because they have more map control to be able to be taken for them. Mamba should be able to utilize the solo usage of all those buildings. It does have a T2 HQ here, but it's not producing anything.
And it's an unfortunate placement there. That's completely out of position. So you would never want to place it right there.
Meanwhile, do we have any vision left here on this side yet? No, not yet. You might want to encroach here and set up some radar coverage here and here to really triangulate where the movement is going from Mamba.
This time Bodo is actually raiding better than on the last map, so he's got some tanks behind Mamba's base. Now they just died, but there were some. He's trying to raid engineers and deny the reclaim in mid, which is good.
Some lovely jester play here.
Yeah.
Or T1 gunship.
Whatever works.
Mamba still has some defenses up on the bottom right here to at least contain that expansion. We'll need to be quickly to retake some of the lost map control. Sending your units...
Yeah, bottom right should be the prior target for Ocelot right now.
Yeah. Here we go. We got some stealth upgrade going on here. Got double the second upgrade here for Bodo. So already went for the first gun, now the second.
And Umbra gave all his land units to Ocelot, so he might be the one focusing on air from now on. Unfortunately, Ocelot is doing the Ocelot.
He went for stealth first. He was going for stealth first, now going for a gun. And look at this.
Yeah, I feel like this push is a bit too bold for Mamba. He should actually try to regain control over the map and actually follow up with engineers, because right now he's not doing this. He's crushing the bottom side, which is pretty nice. But he misses out on sending engineers to grab the reclaim.
And Bodo raiding the backline again.
Yep. The advantage of being Aeon on this map, you know?
Got a nice little drop here to grab these. There are so many contestable players all wanting to snoop a little bit of the maxes.
Yeah, funny thing is that Umbra is actually dropping the top side triple max.
Yeah. Hasn't queued anything though. Oh, no.
Yeah, but them being on voice and actually distributing those maxes is kind of nice.
Meanwhile, they're fighting here over over the maxes over there.
Okay, somewhat distributing. Let's call it that.
They're all weird fight. Oh, if this one gets Ocelot, it's very nicely even distributed, but I doubt it.
Yeah, this feels like Mamba is a bit going too much for the center approach right now instead of raiding the sidelines.
See,
And now he's behind on Eco.
yeah, Eco lead is getting slowly and slowly more in favor of Team 2 here. Does send some units out now towards the top, but immediately redirects it back towards the middle. Maybe he should have continued here and raid these mexes here.
Yep, definitely. I mean, he did the same on the bottom side and didn't follow up with the engineers, so he couldn't actually make any use out of the reclaim.
There's a lot of bombers here on the bottom. Probably looking to take clear of all these PDs and bases. Spotted probably there wasn't much anti-air. You know, we get to bomb stuff for free. No reaction yet from the Inties. Because Mamba does have Inties, but he lets his base get bombs for free, basically. Alright, decided back to raid the top side again. This is good. Because there's pretty much no units here. All engineers. Only a couple of, T2 blazes here.
Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't have that many units and he needs to be quicker on following up with the NGs because he needs to grab the reclaim as quickly as possible and feed it into maxes and tech. This is a waste. Why even going for the kill? Because, I mean, what does it do right now? He can't raid the bases.
Yeah, it's a shield upgrade for Bodo as well. And now all that army goes back into the reclaim for Team 2.
Yeah, not even that. I mean, yes, of course, but this was the army that was protecting him from getting raided in the base, you know?
You could raid these, the bottom side as well, yeah. How is this vision looking? Because does he know? Oh, we do have a little bit of vision. But he should get a T2 raider up. He does have the power for it.
Not really.
He's hovering between building stuff and plus 85. And he has energy storage, so you should be able to dip into that.
At least he's spending his mass right now. The problem is, it is not that much mass as the other team has right now. And now he's just going... I mean, the raiding on top is perfect. This is the perfect call to make. But at the same time, you should be holding mid or trying to raid the kind of mid lanes as well. So the triple maxes.
Ooh, Bodo did get taken out, but all his army is gone in the middle.
Exactly, so this doesn't do much for him. Actually taking out the commanders, it doesn't work for him. He needs to keep raiding and denying them eco.
Meanwhile, his bottom side has been obliterated by all these missile launchers. Look at that.
Yeah.
And now, where are the missile launchers going? Moving here, which is weird because they have vision where everything is. That's a nice T2 tank brigade, but it's in the wrong location. You want to protect your expansions here. Oh, some transferring going on here. Umbra had enough. We're like, yo, you deal with it now.
Yeah, like I said, this same approach like Umbra going for air and Ocelot playing land now, full land.
I like this little brigade of T1. Prevents any engineers from getting back in here.
Yep, that works, indeed.
Just finished the T2 upgrade on that max and it's going to be taken out. It probably will be. Unfortunate. Ocelot will be taking out the remainder of that assault. Mamba, do we have any upgrades? We still don't have any upgrades, but we are working on assisting factories and stuff.
Yeah, the problem is his vision right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite catch how good his air scouting was, but he's fighting at the edge of his radar range, and that's never a good idea.
Maybe build a little bit. Oh, there you go. See, plus 600 per 700. Definitely be able to afford radar now. He's flowing a lot of mass again right now. He's trying to spend it as much as he can.
Yeah, but the problem is now, why are you raiding the bottom side? Because, I mean, all the engines get denied on the right side, or got denied so far. And he can't follow up with any engines.
I think,
he has no clue what's there.
This is your answer. Elliot is marking stuff to raid.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, but like I said, I keep saying it, he needs to follow up with engines to actually grab the reclaim. If he doesn't do it, and if his units die there, it's not worth pushing there.
Elliot's giving some more orders here. Wants Mamba to retake some mexes in the middle and this cliffside. Meanwhile, they are they T3? They're not on T3 yet. They should be able to go to T3. They do have the eco for it. Yeah, 83. And now Team 2 and double the eco on Mamba. It's looking pretty bad. Oh, look at this. Nice little PD here. Taking out all the walk-in engineers.
Yeah, I mean, Mamba had an actual chance to come back, and he's raiding top side perfectly again, so I still feel like raiding the bottom side was the wrong call.
Now we got T3 here from Ocelot. And we'll be able to take out this this T2 army with ease, especially with the loyalists that do have some EMP. Meanwhile, the middle is also getting hit by a lot of stuff by missile launchers. I did see some shenanigans being shut down, but slowly and slowly that army is being whittled away.
To be honest, I have no damn clue where Ocelot's commander is on the top side instead of the base.
He's an engineer now. He's an engineer now. He's building mexes.
Yeah, there's no point in being there.
Let's see. Gun range on pause here from Umbra.
It's the right call as well, but what would you use the Guncom right now for if you got T3 already? There's no point in investing in it. I would even cancel it.
And now Mamba going for a line-in push against a defensive position. And there we go. More loyalists coming in from Umbra here.
Yeah, that might be game.
Mamba trying to flank from the right a little bit with the combined Cybran and Seraphim T2 army, but against a bunch of loyalists, it might be troublesome.
Yeah, I mean, the Ilshis are pretty good even against lawyers if they are not microed properly. So if they just send in and rally in the lawyers against the Ilshis, which they kinda don't, so I think it's lost by now for Mama.
A couple of harbs in there as well to seal the deal. Let's see that Eco slowly. Alright, they're both.
Mama going for the drop play on the bottom. Intercepted. I mean, at least he's trying and still playing. I like that.
Okay, we got some new engineers retaking the top left corner here from Umbra. Maybe you should consider giving some of these transporters to Ocelot so they can drop some units back and forth on the bottom side as well, like across the pond, for example, and then raid the backside.
Yeah, they got the A advantage, absolutely. So they could go for drops behind Mamba's base, kinda again, where Bodo's Auroras raided earlier.
We got some Wagners here, actually, taking out the right flank here.
Why not? If your opponent is just rallying engineers in, why not?
Uh-oh, AFKing his inties, and that's basically confirmed lost air. That means Umbra can just chill and go for gunships and take clear of the map. No more air for Mamba. Going for Restoration Field, odd choice, and 26 minutes. Still needs to retake some mexes here.
Yeah, if the bottom team plays it slow and steady like they did for the last couple of minutes, there's no chance in comebacking for Mamba.
Yeah, triple the eco right now for Team 2. It's looking grim for Mamba by the minute. Some weird ass drop, I don't know. That was weird. It's like, here, have some reclaim for free. You need it, right? It's SPM, you know. Restoration field is done for the first upgrade. Starting the second restoration field. So Mamba maybe trying to go for a Rambo calm. Maybe trying to see if Umbra is out of the water or out in the back of his base maybe.
So at this point, technically, Mamba should maybe try to snipe Ocelot if he only knew he was there, kinda in front of his base. Because then it would be an even split on managing the triple bases.
Right now, look at that. Even going further beyond. Going for 337 mass per tick versus 78.
Yeah, Mamba is kinda on the same eco for the last 5 minutes. And the other team advances their eco advantage, so...
Mamba is really trying to get that Rambo Calm up and running as soon as possible. Has double regeneration field. Goes for the nano. And of course, Seraphim does have a second advanced nano repair. But it looks to be quite odd that Umbra hasn't pushed in with gunships yet. Just go for T3. Does have the eco to go for T3. And advanced nano repair has been started here for Mamba. And now it's just a stalemate, it seems. Both players or teams are comfortable in just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, technically, like I said, it's the right call for the bottom team, although I still disagree with Ocelot having his commander at the front line. That's a bit too much of chilling. But that's what we know him for.
Oh, now we see the gunships coming into play here. It's mostly T2, I think. Yes, they are. There are T2 and a couple of T1 gunships in there, sending all the air towards it. Even Spectres from Ocelot going there as well. They know they have one air. There's no reason not to use it. Oh, and there he goes. Goes for the Control K here from Black Mamba. Knows it's over. Nothing here to pull him back into this game. 1-1 here.
Yeah, so we got our first decider.
What do you think? What went purely wrong here for the team here for Team Hersha? Was it the mid-com action that like?
Yeah, it was definitely the mid-com action. Like I said, Mamba had a chance kinda to come back if he properly raided and followed up with the Engies to get up on eco even further and maybe take earlier on triple base. But like I said, I mean, I know that Yudoka's team like Ocelot, Bodo, and Umbra practiced this map quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the constellation my team played at, we didn't train it a single time. So
Fair enough.
if you execute it properly and if you just blunder your comms, if the other team blunders the comms, then
I mean, maybe it was a strategic pick, right? To pick Loki, since maybe they practice it a lot. They thought maybe they practice it more than you guys, right? So maybe this was a strategic map pick.
yeah, this is what they went for against Crumb as well. And if they hadn't overcommitted, they had control over mid, and it might have worked for them as well.
Right. All right. Then we have one more game here. The all-deciding game. And it's also going to be the last game of today as well. What do you think is going to be happening in this game, Wilson?
I don't know.
So they played
I don't know what the map is, you know?
well, there are only two maps left, right? And it's their turn to pick. What do you think Elliot
yes,
would...
one is Lush and one is Crucible. And I think Elliot is... If he's making the call, and Kageyama as well, usually they are more comfortable on open maps. So I think they're going to be picking Lush.
Okay.
And not Crucible.
What's the whole shenanigan with Lush? How do we approach Lush if we think it's going to be Lush?
I mean, there's a lot of reclaim on Lush, and this is the only map that is technically not a 3v3 map, and therefore one player gets a second base plus the reclaim.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting, like with the Ice map gen before, we're getting like one crusher spot and one holding spot, and we might see another rotation going on. Maybe, we will see.
All right. This is going to be super interesting. We're going into the final game for the first series here for the Dojemon Battle Arena. That's the wrong one. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Damn replay files. They all have
How dare you?
similar numbers.
You're a professional caster. You're not supposed to make any mistakes.
Well,
that's what you get paid for, you know.
One mistake was unavoidable. It was not my fault because of replay file ID. So you know, I'm not gonna take.
Yeah, that was actually on me. All right, so it is Lush. Okay.
So they have spots. One spot is disabled, it seems.
Yes. So like I said, it's a 4v4 map technically, and one guy gets double base, and this is gonna be Elliot and Bodo, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it is indeed Bodo and Elliot going for their expansion bases as they will have it. So yeah, let's see on the reclaim. There is a huge amount of reclaim. Hello. Come back here. 50k, 52k reclaim on this map, mostly congregated into the corners and of the map, most of it. There's a lot of rocks to grab. So is this a T3 rush map, you'd say? Because there's so much reclaim on this map.
It depends. I mean, there's a lot of area to cover as well. So technically, I think the comms for the mid guys should go for mid because there's a reclaim field in mid. And then I think the other guys will be going for the rocks kinda next to the bases that are not being used in this game. So this will be kind of the distribution of the comms going on in the first couple of minutes, I guess. And it's, by the way, it's interesting to see. So both teams approach it differently on this map. Where, like on the ice map, where we expected some rotation to be going on, Mamba was put in the holding slot. On this map, it's Kageyama, and Elliot is in the crusher spot. And while on the other team, we see the same approach. So Umbra and Bodo working together while Ocelot is being pushed in the holding slot on the top side as the pink player.
Do we get some engineer kills here from these flares? Nope. The first one gets shut down. Second flare, AFKing, enjoying the scene, and meeting his death.
Unlucky.
Right, so Elliot already in here with some engineers and aggressively expanding here. Faster than Bodo. So this should be looking pretty solid in terms of eco-wise for Elliot later on.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It's just a matter of approach on this map. If you go for early reclaim or for early expansion.
Yeah. 3.7 reclaim versus 3.3. The highest reclaim is actually Kageyama with 1.9k.
Yeah, I mean, he's overbuilding Engis quite a bit sometimes when it comes to reclaiming and therefore doesn't have that many tanks. So I'm seeing a first bomber from Ocelot going for Kageyama's base and I don't understand it.
That's not a way to park it, sir. Hello, sir. And reclaiming it. This is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. Yes.
So suddenly you're rooting for my team. Do I now need to root for the other team?
No.
Not gonna happen. Yeah, right now on the top side it looks like Elliot has a decent control over the reclaim.
Yeah.
Because for him the most reclaim valuable area is kind of the corner because there are a lot of rocks.
Yeah. Of course, behind their base, where they're still...
Yeah, but this is mostly supposed to go to
Mamba.
Mamba,
Yep. Got two comms in here, going aggressively, trying to form a control circle here around Kageyama's and Mamba's base. Meanwhile, Elliot is going rampant on the backside here.
Yeah, but what confuses me big time is Elliot's comm is still in his base and Mamba's comm is even behind his base.
He's building factories.
Hey, we got an engineer, great.
Kageyama...
So Mamba's giving away the reclaim in mid for no reason.
Oh yeah, that's a huge amount of rocks.
Yeah, and he's fighting comms with his tanks again, so the tanks are going to die.
Meanwhile, Kageyama going for a defensive play here, going for a T2 upgrade suite.
Yeah, I don't understand that as well. I mean, maybe he's trying to deny the reclaim field by setting up PDs early on. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Elliot is aggressively expanding, grabbing all the maxes. Not getting much contested here by Ocelot, mostly trying to rebuff the middle point here for Ocelot. Does have some raiding groups here, queued up, going for around the top side, going towards this expansion. This could be very nice here.
Feels like Ocelot is going for a little bit more unit approach now, unit heavy instead of tech approach, and feels like Elliot is going for more tech than units actually. I don't know what Mamba is doing there. Still two comms there.
Yeah, and then a gun upgrade just finished in time for Umbra. Can he get out here to live to see another day? It seems like it because Mamba is just walking past him and that will cost him all of his tanks.
If you want to be this aggressive, Kageyama should have pushed from bottom as well. To help, like, otherwise Bodo could have sent his tanks to feed Mamba's tanks.
All right, and Elliot right now is starting his T3 land at 8 minutes in. Very nice.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, that he was going for more tech approach, because we're seeing not that many units. The problem is, I feel like he's not paying too much attention to the top right corner right now where all the reclaim is for rushing T3 this hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is the right approach, to be honest.
Meanwhile, Kageyama is putting up some Oblivion turrets here and there to stabilize his corner front here. But a nice gun upgrade here from Bodo. Really sees it, and gun is pretty good upgrade to deal with the T2 PDs, to overcharge it and take them out if you can and get out.
I mean, technically, if Kageyama builds a single shield, it's getting way harder to force him out there, but let's see.
Yeah, trying to build more PDs, but he's getting out of position here. Notice
That's
it.
a big blunder.
Alright, notice it's in time, but Bodo also not reacting in time. Maybe could have gone a little bit more damage out of that one, but let's go for that gun upgrade. The second one as gun speed, and immediately go for the third gun upgrade. And I'm pretty sure the advanced range should be able to take out the T2 PD on a very, very long range, right?
Yep, indeed.
See
So
some.
Elliot now focusing a bit more on top and getting the reclaim, it seems, yeah.
Meanwhile, Ocelot's Calm is hoovering up the reclaim as much as they can. Umbra is going bottom to see if they can support Bodo to push Kageyama aside.
Yeah, it feels a bit like Mamba doesn't actually know where to put his units right now.
He's ringing his mexes right now. He's the first one actually to start ringing his mexes. So there's still a lot of reclaim left on the map. At least the backside of Mamba is all gone now. And it seems
we see another T3 drop on the top right, going towards Ocelot's base right now.
it's very, very damaged. Will even reach on time. It's going all the way actually in the back of Umbra's base.
That's maybe a bit too far.
And it's a shutdown. Yeah, it was very low HP, of course. Maybe should have dropped earlier, noticing like it only had low HP, but maybe it was click and send.
Indeed.
How are we doing on vision-wise for this team? Do have some nice, decent amount of vision, but uh-oh, Kageyama only has a radar up back in his main base. And T1 radar here at this expansion could use a little bit more vision. And then Mamba with the no radar challenge.
Yeah, what I dislike Kageyama right now is he's not going for the bottom left plateau, which is a decent spot to put a radar up.
Yeah, Bodo dropped there already, even as a what looks like a ghetto gunship patrolling around. Meanwhile, it looked like the vision from Umbra and Bodo is covering pretty much the entire map here. For what is important for their team. Is on T3 here for a while now, because we saw Elliot starting T3 upgrade at minute 8. It's minute 13. Do you see some Titans here? Do you still think Titans on this map is also like it's open, right? But Titans are a bit squishy.
Yeah, but I mean for raiding, I mean right now see Mamba is approaching mid and meanwhile Elliot is able to run by, and this is good team play. If this was actually called to make the run by happen, then yeah, well done.
Okay, and now it's focusing on the calm. You lose all your units, but Umbra will be bowing out here. Taken care of by Mamba. A bit too passive maybe on their unit control. And therefore gotten taken out by surprise. Gets surrounded and then right click here.
Yeah, but Bodo being on kind of triple base right now. Oh, not even. Distributing the old Umbra base to Ocelot now. That's a bit surprising.
Both teams are pretty close on terms of mass protect. 260 versus 230. So does seem like this Titan is getting some small value here. Some more Titans for some more rating. And we got a shield upgrade here for Bodo. Seeing to look if they can breach this side. Look at this. The reclaim from Kageyama's side is almost all gone left, with the exception of the fights that are going on.
Problem right now is the raid from Ocelot, because Mamba suicided all his units for the comp kill. So now Elliot needs to help there, and therefore might lose control over his side.
We have some Percys coming out here. They will be clearing this out for sure, and also have some spearheads. You gotta love the T3 mobile missile launchers.
Yeah, they come in handy.
Let's see, we have 160 eco for Bodo. Will we see an experimental being built soon-ish, or will we just see more expansion on factories? T2 gunships being built here, and harms, or harps, should I say. Blech. Words.
Seems like it's finally capping his maxes. That is a good point, actually.
Yeah, we do have some couple of T1 maxes here. And Mamba is almost done ringing his maxes completely.
Question for me would be, if you go to Elliot's perspective, does he actually know that Ocelot is on double base now?
He knows.
So he knows, okay.
He is 2.5k in the bank and still rising. Is calm nicely in the base, which is kind of awkward to see, right? Basically, we saw Elliot's calm for the majority of the game, basically hovering in his base.
Yeah, I mean, Elliot has got a little problem.
Oh,
with
boy.
Army, I guess.
We got a nice little Percy drop here on the front door of Ocelot's base, and we'll try to take out as many mexes as they possibly can, but dropping in front of someone's base, usually not a great idea. We actually get a reclaim. Actually, no. All of them are starting PDs, bumping into each other.
Sad.
You know,
Yeah, but Mamba is getting a problem right now because Ocelot is producing the loyalty lists and crushing him in mid. So this might actually be Ocelot crushing Mamba. I mean, Kageyama is a bit passive on the bottom side so far.
He's pulling his comm back to base.
Yeah.
And then let's see how the eco is going for now. T1 ahead here in terms of mass per tick with 339 mass per tick versus 276. Let's see about the reclaim, but Team 2 fared a little bit better here on reclaim. Ocelot with 25k mass reclaim on the top board here. Get a nice...
Yeah, I mean, Elliot suicided at QT3 tanks, and maybe Ocelot was even able to grab more of the reclaim in the top corner.
And look at this, Ocelot pushing the top side here. Catching Elliot a bit off guard here. Trying to set more units up to save his ass. Meanwhile, Kageyama back in his base. We have T3 land in production with building harbs. But again, Bodo also with the T3 push here. Looks to be taking care of Kageyama's base here. Going pretty deep. Yeah, the precious base here from Elliot destroyed here by the push from Ocelot. That's going to be a huge deficit in a dip on their eco. All those mexes were T2, but right now Kageyama will be taking the brunt of that attack of all those loyalists, and Bodo will be bagging that kill.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. So Mamba wasn't playing to the standard he had before on the other maps, kinda. It feels a bit like out of place and not knowing how to play the support role. Maybe they picked the right starting location for him. Not sure.
And now the middle part is turned to... Got some bricks coming in here, in between some loyalists. But actually these are Auroras. Bombing your own base, very ethical. And the mechs out. Harp. Another push here from Bodo, keeping the pressure up.
Yeah, it feels like Elliot lost too much eco already.
Yeah, dropping below 300 already, is on 280 for the whole team. And Bodo now ahead of Elliot by 20 mass per tick. Going for Ras. Bodo wants more energy. Successfully taken the bottom side here for Bodo, and looks like the Ocelot is congregating units towards the middle side as well. Still looking pretty good. Is dropping low on power. Someone's starting a Fat Boy. Uh-oh. Also power locking himself a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the Fat Boy is the wrong call right now because he needs more units, because the map is so wide and open.
Yes, 17
yeah,
17k in the bank. But meanwhile, his whole base is getting overrun. He won't be able to finish that Fat Boy anytime soon. Mamba.
Yeah, so the Fat Boy feels more like an action to spend the mass while after having the second base inherited.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Yeah, this game is lost.
Bodo 9k in the bot. We'll be taking out a nice HQ out here on the bottom side. Old Kageyama's base will be taken out in Smithers, trying to go for a comp snipe, but nice movement here from Bodo. Avoids getting hit by most of the Corsair fighter bugs. Are getting another one. Look at that. Does dodge a few of these bullets and will be taking a couple of hits, which is unavoidable because it is of course splash damage. But as long as you don't keep moving the same direction, you will take less damage.
Yeah, but it was the right call to make. If they're this much behind, sniping is the only way to win this at this point.
And a GC is 1/3 of the way of being completed here. Probably won't be done before the end of the game, since Bodo is looking already to close out Mamba's base. And he did manage to get back the northern expansion on his side, but I think it's, as you mentioned before, a little bit too late. Yeah, already 100 mass per tick over Elliot right now. And Ocelot 3 times the amount of eco that Mamba has.
Yeah, right now you can see the different approach. Like Mamba on the last map, he killed some expansions but didn't follow up with engineers. And if you look at the bottom side, Bodo is following up with a factory, he's following up with engineers, he's grabbing all the reclaim.
Mamba getting out safely for now. Very deep into the red. In the meantime, Bodo doesn't care. He just wants to kill the eco of Elliot. That is the win condition here. Fat Boy by a long shot. Not done yet, and 1 minute left until that GC is out, but I think they will be recalling in a bit, because Bodo is already taking out all the core maxes in behind Elliot's base. There were T3. Look at that. Dipping below triple digits for Elliot. This should be just in the bag. Unless they'll be AFKing for so much, which, you know, I don't think is gonna happen. Will the GC be finished in time? 3 seconds. It is. Not that it can destroy much other than tickling the comms with their laser attack.
Yeah, the problem is that Mamba probably overspent a lot on lower tech units and didn't eco enough, so he was finally caught with his pants down when he ran into the T3 units. And yeah, on the other side, like, the other guys didn't crush, and he was pushing quite a bit in mid. I mean, technically, he's trying to be active, proactive, doing something, which is usually great. But with a map layout like this, usually you don't want to go for like attacking in middle or the middle base. Usually you want to start getting your opponent to collapse from one side, either right or left, but not through mid.
All right, full scout by Ocelot. They know what's up there, and they know that they have more than enough. Actually, Ocelot moving back again. Maybe baiting out the Percys? Or maybe they're just waiting for the GC to stomp in and have some fun with it. It is being protected by a lot of air patrol units and swift ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same situation it was on Loki. They can just chill now, and they have the eco advantage. They killed a lot of their opponent's eco. They know about it. So there is no need to rush for them. So playing it safe and slow and steady and out-ecoing and out-taking them is the right call.
Yeah, and there's the T3 gunships coming in from Bodo. No real flak left here. Just a couple of T2 flak here, like skyboxes here. But it's not going to deal much against these gunships.
GC going in as well.
And there it is. Control K by Elliot. He knows it's done. Mamba being targeted soon. And there are the gunships. And that is going to be a GG.
Run, Forest!
Very nice.
Yeah, GG.
All right. What a couple of sets we had today. And yeah. Which one was your favorite set to watch? Which one was more exciting?
I mean, there is just one answer allowed for me being on one team, so it must be the IC map gen where my team won, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
What was your personal favorite?
Honestly, I think the first game from Team Paradox was pretty good. I think they played pretty well. They played it maybe a bit too passively, but they played it well. So
the controlled win on the ice map gen then for you. Okay. So at least we agree on the ice map being the favorable map of these guys.
Yeah. All those games had their moments. True. You had your moment too, Ocelot. You pushed out. You actually moved your comm out of your base. We are proud of you. We are proud of you.
Yes, for everyone who doesn't know, Ocelot usually commits suicide with his comm at some point. And for that reason, at some point, he decided to leave his comm in the base. And now he's moving out of the base eventually again. I like that quite a lot. And actually, I didn't see him blunder his comm. I mean, on Loki, Mamba couldn't punish him anymore, but other than that, he didn't put himself in a dangerous situation.
Could have used the comm a bit more efficiently instead of using it as an reclaim engineer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not used to using your comm anymore, you need to get back into the groove, you know?
True, true. Oh boy, oh boy. What a night it has been. 6 games, actually 5 games, 2 sets. Both games are sets were pretty action-packed. But yeah, we got a 1 win, 1 loss for Team Yudoka. We got a win for Team Paradox. And unfortunately, Team Hersher will have to get back to the drawing board. What could have been gone better for the next time? Speaking of next time, when will we be having more games like this? Can you tell me more about that?
Actually, no, because our teams are supposed to agree on the fixtures themselves, because we are kind of worldwide in the dojo, and like I already mentioned, Team Paradox is from Canada. Some of his players are from the US, some, like both teams we saw in the end, were from Europe. Mamba even is from South Africa. So we're a wild mix in the dojo, and therefore it can be a little bit tricky to agree on dates to play. But the idea is to finish this competition in the next, like, 2-ish, maybe 3 weeks, and then it should be done by then, because it's just a round robin, and it's like 6 games overall. 2 of them have been played right now. Yeah, so hopefully I can jump into the driver's seat as well and play 2 games myself.
Yeah. All right. Did you have anything else to say to the public? Thank you for your commentator as for now, but this is your moment.
This is my moment? No,
this is your moment.
I mean, I just want to thank you for having me, so... With my first cast, to be honest, I think I did kinda okay-ish.
Well, you have more the better experience than me, of course. So I appreciate your side of intelligence on the maps, on the players, and of course, you know, if you ever happen to be available in the future, you're always welcome to hop on.
Of course, I will. Thank you.
All right. For now, that's gonna be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you guys had fun. As much as I did casting these games. Again, I'm not super familiar with casting Supreme Commander, but yeah, I hope you guys still enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.